finance, and things that has to do with that. And my guest today is a consultant, an investment and business coach. He also happens to be the founder of School of Wealth, and he's a pastor. He pastors the Living Seed Church, The Bridge, Ikeja. Welcome with me, Pastor Femi OYEWUNMI.
Thank you, Joshua. It's good to be back.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
And by the way, you are looking like money.
You're looking great too. Brown is my favorite color, so I like that.
Nice. Thank you. We want to talk about money. All right. So let me start from this point. I'm a young man. I want to make money. I want to make a lot of money, loads of money. I want to blow in street parlance. Where do I start from?
Awesome. That's a good question. And I get this question a lot of time. People say, I want to make money. So when I ask them, how much do you want to make? They say, I want to make a lot of money. And that is not smart in itself, because you have to break it down into how much do you want to make? At what time do you want to make that amount of money? So I call something drawing your vision board for the actual amount you want to make. When I was starting the year in January, I asked myself, how much will it cost OLUWAFEMI to live comfortably in the year 2024? And I asked myself, how much will I make eventually at the end of 31st December 2024? And I'm going to ask myself another question, that where is that money going to come from? How do I now multiply that money when it comes to me? Because that's the act of managing. And then moved into the investment part of it. So you have to be really clear where you are going. So let me say to a young man who is currently looking for ways to make money, I want to let you know that money itself is not the focus. Value proposition is what produces money.
Value proposition.
So in the marketplace, we don't necessarily exchange money. What we exchange is actually value for money. So the more value you can bring to the marketplace, the more money is going to be in your hand. It doesn't matter if you are black or you are white, if you can speak good English or not, because sometimes you may not even say a word in the internet what we are today, and you are going to make a lot of money. People don't even need to see your face to actually make money. For example, if you take a student who is currently in school now, I'm going to ask you, what skill set do you have? What can you do? If you talk, you can talk. There's a place online where you can talk and make money. If you can listen well, there are platforms where you can listen to what audiobooks that people have dumped in the place, and they don't have time to write it out. So you can transcribe that and get some money. Money even made in USD. Some of them have so much time, and they don't know what they are doing with their time. And you have people who have money, who are struggling with their time. I'm currently in that position where I struggle a lot with my time. But you can do a virtual assistant. You can be in Samfara and help me plan my day and plan my activity and get paid for it. But the problem is, where those who need the services and those who have the capacity to do service don't have a place to meet before now. And many are still living in that ignorance. And that's why you see a lot of people out there, time but no money. And they don't know how to convert that into money-making opportunities.
You have mentioned a few ways where people can make money. You sound like you have a lot of money-making ideas. Oh. Let's have them. That's what this conversation is about. It's about making money.
Awesome. Right. Okay, let's get, again, I always let people know, because in the School of Wealth, we have a whole lot of people coming to us to say, oh, I really want to get started and all of that. And when we get into it, you realize that some of them are not genuinely looking for how to make money, but they are looking for people to sort their 2K urgency and all of that out. But let me talk to, I want to believe that this is a platform where people who are genuinely want to transform their life are trying to listen to me to see what can I take on right now.
Yeah.
So, for example, do you know the act of copywriting? It's a huge market.
Copywriting?
Yeah, copywriting is a huge market, because a lot of people are writing projects and all of those things and all that. And copywriters are making a lot of money. What does it require? You need to learn something that takes you about 6 weeks to learn. I can show you the platform where you can go and upskill yourself on that platform and you become a copywriter. I tell you today, I have more than 5 people who are a copywriter that earns about $100 every week. If you take $100 in a month, that's $400. Convert $400, multiply by 1,007, and that's in Naira. They are better off some of their parents that are going to work in this, covering distance and all of that. That's one.
Okay.
Transcribing that I mentioned to you, There are a lot of transcribing as cheap as, they pay some people as cheap as $5. And if you have the time to pick up transcribing work that you can do, spend like 20 hours. I'm not even giving you too much. Just do 20 hours in a week. Multiply 20 by 5. Because each hour is $5. So if you multiply that, you see that. But when you have people who are not willing to even learn to take themselves off that space, then it becomes a problem. So what you need to do is ask the right question. At your state where you are now, what can I do with my time? It may be your time. And I always tell people that the source of you looking at what you want to do, you want to consider your interests. You want to listen to people's problem. People complain a lot about Nigerians are so good at that, and that has fetched me a lot of money. So if I'm in a place and people are making complaints about something that is not working, my posture to that is, how can I provide a solution? Interestingly, Joshua, you know that I may not have the competency to deliver that, but there is something they call an act of middleman. I look for the person who has the solution and connect that person with the person who needs the service. I get a commission paid for doing that. Take the people who are jackpotting, let me use that word, and they have cars and all of that they want to sell, and they don't have a platform where they can actually sell it. And some of these young people have 20,000, 10,000 people following them. All they do is to post their new clothes, post their new hairstyle there. That's all, vibes.
The drip.
But do you know that without taking that person's car away from his own compound and his house, you can put it up on your platform? I bought one of my Lexus Jeep about 4 years ago from a teenager that I had a session with them like this, and he listened to me and started while he was in Unilag. He sold the car to me. I was the one that went to the port to go and clear the car with the mechanic and all that. He didn't step out of Unilag campus. On that transaction, he made 550,000 naira. He didn't even disclose to me until I finished the transaction because he was afraid that if I know that he's the one, I probably cut the commission down. But that's how interesting. Today, that guy, I mean, I was checking on him yesterday. He's in Qatar, having vacation, alone, enjoying himself, because that little information has transformed. He moved from selling cars to now selling land, real estate, proper estate, because you now have a platform where people come to. And again, in doing business, people want to see your integrity. The moment your yes is yes and your no is no, people will definitely patronize you.
So you've spoken about tech-based businesses like copywriting, transcribing and things like that. You've also spoken about skills, marketing. What about people who their forte is in the career path, where they feel they will thrive better working in a corporate organization? There's this thing they say that money, salary or job is the, what's it called? Salary is the bribe you are paid to forget. Is there no hope for people in the corporate space to also build wealth, or does it have to be with me selling something or doing something as far as tech is concerned?
Joshua, absolutely not. I mean, I can mention the salary of some CEOs in Nigeria that some business owners can never make in the next 10 years, and they get it from salary. Your business may be managing other people's businesses. That's for career people. So there are people who are very good at starting up something, but they cannot run it operationally. And your business is to manage those things for them. You have a career path, absolutely great. But I want to ask you, when you are going into that job, do you see that job as a job to you, or you have become an entrepreneur with that job that you're doing? I've had over 15 years working for people, and I've taken all those businesses as if it's my business. And that was why it was easy to translate my attitude, my ways of doing, working for those people into my own, because one way or the other, I had to take those skills along with you. So for people who don't want to sell and all of that, you can build career path. There are many things. So let me give you an example. You want to ask yourself, if I'm in your shoe right now and you want to build your career, you want to ask yourself, what are the future jobs? This singular question I've asked, if you put it on Google, it will tell you multiple competencies that is required for future purposes. Interestingly, AI has come. Many of those skills that we have before now are no longer going to be relevant. And you don't want to ask yourself, what would be the future? One of it, let me let you know, is that very interesting. Negotiation is one of the future, but yeah, I'm telling you, your ability to negotiate on behalf of people and get paid. In the US today, people are living on that. In Dubai, people are living on that. Just to go on behalf of people and negotiate on their behalf. It's interesting to you. It sounds like it's something simple, but people get heavily paid for doing that. There are a lot of tech related, because now, even if you are making shoes, You want to ask yourself, before I go make this particular show, how many people are buying it? Data-driven. Data analysts are going to become like oil and gas individuals in the future of job. Let me give you something very interesting I did when I was consulting for a friend who wanted to release a song. He has received this song from the Holy Spirit, and I believe so much that this is the song that God has given him, and the world needs to listen to him. And I said to him, who are your targeted audience? He was confused. He wanted to reach out to everybody. I said, you may not reach out to everybody at the start, but there are some audiences that must take this song everywhere you go. Let me open up something very big to you, and where it's not confidential. I didn't work for them. Maverick Music. Yeah. Do you listen to the last song they sang that was everywhere? Omema.
Yeah.
They went to Spotify, they went to Apple Music and asked them, what are the song people are searching for? And they told them at that time that it was Igbo song. They put a lyrics of Igbo into that song, and that was the major breakthrough. That's the selling point. Can you see how data has driven everything that they are doing? I want to let you know, go and check some of the Nigerian guys that are singing today. All of them in the album now have Igbo song inside of it.
Interesting. Now, people are making money either from personal businesses, either from tech-based businesses, or even jobs. But then, for those who probably live in this part of the world where there's a lot around inflation, how expensive things are, so much so that what people earn is not even enough to cover the operation cost on a daily basis. How can you save to even talk about investing when what you currently earn doesn't even meet your current needs?
Okay, there was something Mr. President said a few weeks ago that broke my heart, but I had to go back and sit back that I think is making sense. He said that we were living a fake life before now, that we are now in the reality of things. Now, there's something I call adjustment in one of our modules in the School of Wealth. Your ability to sit with yourself and be true to yourself. I'm going to cite this scenario. There was a lady who comes to clean and gets about 60,000 naira per month, but she's working that job on the island, and she lives here in Mowe, and her transportation is about 45,000. So how she has been augmenting it is that she joins some people to carry her so that she can reduce the cost of that transportation. And I said to her, when we had that conversation, this is an elderly person, and I said to her, if you get a cleaning job inside Redemption City that pays you 40,000, mommy, you are better off going to Marina. I said, health-wise, you'll be better off. The money-wise, she said, no, but the salary is more. I said, it's not. When you come from away to Redemption City and we look at your transportation, about 15,000, you still have about 25,000 at your disposal to play with. But when you go to Lagos and you do 45,000, you are left with 15,000. And that was when she came to the realization that what I was saying makes sense. Many of our people are not doing adjustment with the inflation and the policies government are doing now. People still live based on the way they used to get money before and all of that. You have to be true to yourself. So you must live within your means. That's our goal. It's one of the rules of sustenance. You must live within your means. If you earn 100,000 and your cost is 90,000 and you have 10,000 disposal, if another person earns 1 million and his current cost is 1.1 million, he will be in deficit of 100,000 every month. By the end of that year, that person will be owing 1.2 million. Why the guy who has 10,000 disposal multiplied by 12, he has what? 120,000 is richer than the person who is earning 1 million. So the first thing you need to do is to do an adjustment. Ask yourself, people are so big about how much comes to them, but they don't pay attention to what takes money away from them. So you have to pay attention to that. You need to sit with what is taking money away from me. You need to be very clear. So for me, what has changed for me is that any money that comes to me does not go back without first thinking on how I'm going to multiply it. And that's how I get richer with anything that comes to me. But you see some people, even before the money comes, and that's part of the money mistake. Before money come, you already...
It's gone.
The only thing you are doing when the money comes is trying to meet those needs. Remember, you are not El Shaddai. You can't take care of everything at the same time. So you must model a way to attend to certain things. There are things you need to defer for a later time, and there are some things you need to focus on and deal with at the present time. These are more. You need to be educated. You can be a professor or a medical student and you are zero when it comes to finance. And that's why you need a coach to journey with you in all of these things.
Let's talk about the money mistakes people make. All right, in your own expertise, being a financial consultant and things like that, what are the mistakes that many times people make when it comes to building wealth?
Yeah, so I will just, let me put it on 3 items, because basically these are questions we get most of the time. Number one is that I've seen many times is that people think that everything they can afford is good for them. And that is wrong. For the fact that I have money to buy bag of rice, maybe I can afford 10 bag of rice, and I'm not distributing to anybody. I just want to stock the rice at home because I have money now. I'll now go and buy 10 bags and keep at home. Give me 6 months, some of them will begin to run bad. Or I say, because I have money, I want to buy 10 bags of salt and put at home. That's how many are living their lives. So it's money mistake. You have to ask yourself, is it in the bucket of necessity or your want? So I have a rule in how I attend to needs and all of that. Focus on your needs. When you have excesses, you can go on your want. So that's one. Secondly, people live on promissory notes. So promise money, and for example, you borrow somebody has come to you and say, please, urgency, borrow me 100,000. Maybe you have like 150,000 in your disposal. You didn't think well. At the point when that person is coming to you, you need that 50,000 to run through the months before the next one is coming. And now you have parted the way with 100,000 in bid of that person. And the person has come to borrow without intention to return it. You are going to fall into financial stress that month, or even into the next month. And business people also understand what I'm saying. So before you take a decision on what to do with your money, you must be crystal clear. It's like you are walking from the book to your reality. But money mistake that people, they do the reality first, and when they are in trouble, they come back to the book. In fact, some people will be too sad to come back to the book. Every time you write down what you want to use the money for, there is something I call a magic reading with my wife. When I write those things down and I begin to read it back to her, I'm going to ask myself, how did this one make my list? So I will expunge it. Oh, we can't do this now. Let's do this at a later time. Oh, we can afford to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We release that. These are ways to, cop all of those mistakes. Another one is wasteful spending. It's one of the big money mistakes. People, do you know, Joshua, people shop when they are sad.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be a window shopping. You get to shop right, and you are supposed to just look at things, or you want to make a list, and then you discover that you are in. Because you have the ATM with you and you go buy. Let me say this. Not all Ashwebi is meant for you. If you are in the habit of buying everybody's Ashwebi, you are going to put yourself into trouble. If you have the color, wear it where your steez is there. Show up, big. Laugh, enjoy yourself. Because when you are doing your own occasion too, it's not everybody that is going to buy your Ashwebi.
Nice.
So that discipline needs to be everything you do. It needs to show. And do you know why I love money so much? Because it shows your behavior. If I want to know how well you have done this year, I'll ask you to download your bank statement from January till date and take a look at the items in there. You know there are 3 columns in your bank statement: the debit, the credit, and the balance.
Balance, yeah.
Some people, if you look at their balance, is enough to buy a brand new car. But when you look at the balance, available balance, you can't take them to Lagos.
No, that thing you just said can be really, really depressing.
No.
You're asking yourself, where exactly did this money come from? This figure doesn't look like what I look like.
Absolutely.
So let's go on to this part of investing. All right, I save, for instance, but then having run my expenses, operations, what is left is just something very small, and then I save it on a monthly basis. But then I want to create wealth legally, morally, righteously, and very fast. How do I speed up my wealth creation process?
All right. So there are many platforms that encourages your pathway to wealth. And this is not a paid partnership. I always say this. I am not here to sell any product. Anything I'm talking about are platforms I've used, and I don't get paid for talking about them. But because we are here, I also need to open up. Do you know that even if you have 1,000 naira, you can start your wealth journey? There are shares that sells as 1 naira 40 kobo. I bought some shares in January. I bought some at 40 kobo. Currently, they are about 2 naira. Joshua, if you do the math, I've done more than 200% on some of those shares. And you can buy as little as 5,000 naira shares that you can. The only thing you need a guidance on what to buy anyway. And that's why I talk about financial code. Do you know there's a platform called Optimus app where you can put in your money, which is an high savings investment. So it's like savings, but they give you interest as against what your commercial bank is doing, where they deduct your SMS, deduct COT from your account, and it's reducing. Even when you don't do any activity, they'll still charge you. On this platform, you put that money there, and it gives you interest on a daily basis. As little as 1,000 naira to get started, and as much as you can. And in a year, you have about, I think currently they run about 20% interest annually. So what I mean is that 20%, if you analyze it, is 20%, but daily they break it down into what it is every day. Now, the good thing about that, away from fixed deposit, is that in fixed deposit, when you enter into that agreement today, you cannot withdraw that money until the maturity. Yes. The beautiful thing about this platform is that you can wake up tomorrow and still put money into it as an addition. So that day will be the existing money you have plus that money you have added will now increase your interest for that day, and it keeps going like that. Interestingly, if you fall into any need and you want to take a withdrawal, you can withdraw as much as 4 times in a month to earn the interest for that month. What are you saying? As a student, even if you start with keeping 1,000 naira every day or every week, by the time it's 6 months, you have something to start with. And that's why I always tell someone, start from somewhere. See, you don't wait until you have 100,000 to start investment. With what you have, get started. The danger of putting it in a savings account and keeping it there is because inflation is going to turn that in and reduce the value in your hand. But as much as you have it increasing basis, even when inflation comes, you still have something that has been added to what you have before. So it's something I think everybody should try. I use Afri Invest 2.0 for the shares platform. I use Optimus app. And let me also open you up to some of the secrets. Rather than going to the commercial bank, I know bankers will not like what I'm saying now. Rather than going to the GT, all those big banks to do your fixed deposit, go to the microfinance. They offer more high interest, but ensure that they are secured with NDIC. So NDIC is in Nigeria.
I think we need to talk about this at this point, right? Okay. A couple of years ago, many of us, many people that I know, and probably you know, engaged in investment platforms and things like that and lost a lot of money. Many people fell trap of that. 2020, 2021, and some till date are still not recovered from it. For some who have even recovered financially, there's still that trauma and all of that. So there's a fear of investment. What is the guarantee that if I put my money into this space, I will leave profit first? I will get my money back. All right. How do we deal with the fear of investing?
So fear is not real. Let me start with that. If you ask me my job, no. So real. Again, I always let people know that you have to understand what we call risk.
Okay.
Josh, by the mercies of God and the grace of God, we are going to see tomorrow. But there is no guarantee of tomorrow. But we wake up, we go to bed hoping that we are going to wake up tomorrow. So courage is not an absence of that fear. But this is the mistake people make when they are going into investment. People invest in what they don't understand. Let me give you an example. So you have come to me with excitement to say, oh, there's one investment somewhere that pays you just earn 100,000 within a month, and you want me to come and on board on that investment. Do you know, on your pedigree, I will go and do the investment. That's what many people did. I'll go and do that investment because you said it to me.
Yes.
But it may be that out of your 1 million, you have set aside 100,000 to say, I can only risk 100,000 on this. But you have introduced this to me. I'll now go to my wife, give me 5 million. I go to my brother, give me 5 million, and put it on the same investment that you only parted away with 100,000. So let's say the next month, everything has collapsed. Will you walk away? You will walk away now because you still have 900,000. But will I be able to move on? I won't be able to move on because I can
move on to debt.
Yeah, absolutely. So and that's the point where you'll not be able to recover. When you want to go into investment, the first thing you need to do first, it doesn't matter if it's your pastor that is saying it or anybody that is saying it. There's something they call due diligence. Who are the owners of this business? What is this business doing? Does it align with your goals? There are certain companies that I cannot invest in, no matter how profitable it is, because I don't believe in what they are doing. For example, I don't drink alcohol. I don't do that. There are shares I will never buy because of my religion and my belief, no matter how profitable it is. There are certain opportunities that have come to me, I prayed about it, and the Holy Spirit saying no on this. And thank God I didn't venture into it, because I have to pray before getting it done. So don't be quick to jump on any investment. You have to take your time. So imagine that when you are doing due diligence, and again, you may not be able to do it. We need to talk to some financial experts to do it on your behalf. Let me find out. I heard they are doing this. Let me find out what's the genuinity about this. There are platforms that rate the companies, even the banks, that rates them. How is their performance doing before you get into investing with them? I mean, one day, Warren Buffett sold off one of his shares, and the whole market went crashing because of one man's decision. But people did not ask, why did he do that? The man moved from there to Treasury B. After the government, is the second highest holder of US Treasury B. He knew the direction it was going. So before you jump in, what is this investment about? How does it align with my own goal? So for example, if I have 1 million naira and I want to get married in December next year, and you have come to me to come and buy shares that we are hoping that is going to appreciate in the next 5 years, will that meet my December next year goal? Doesn't make sense. So I won't tie money down for something like that. But if you tell me that, oh, there's something we can do in the next 6 months, I'm going to make some profit out of it, and I can use the money, my capital back, for a project I'm doing in December, absolutely yes, I'm going to jump on it. So do the diligence on the investment you want to do. That's number one. Secondly, does it align with your goals? Thirdly, you now need to check, what is the substance over form of what we are doing? How risky is it? So I always advise diverse, they call something like diversity. You have to look at, no matter how juicy the return is on this. If I have 100,000, I will never put 100,000 on a single investment. So I will spread it across board. And I have a ratio of doing that, but time will not permit us to get deep into that.
So, time you did is not our friend. But then we have to, you've mentioned how do your due diligence. You've spoken about asking questions. Are there platforms where the knowledge gap between financial illiteracy and financial literacy can be bridged? Or are there platforms where I could actually get insights to know what to put my money into, when to pull out? Where can I look to for knowledge?
So there are a lot of platforms today. I mean, even free platforms where financial literacy we are minding the gap. And one of it is also the School of Wealth.
Yes.
Every Monday I'm online there telling people about opportunities, investment opportunities and all that. Even organizations have come and say, let's partner on this and make money on this and all that. The stage where we are now is the stage of minding that gap as many as possible. And my focus really is on believers, because I've seen that even people outside the church seemingly know what to do, and they are taking leap step in achieving their goals. But for us as young people, there is now time for us to help as many as possible. If you are the only shining light among 1 million people, you are still going to deal with a lot of darkness. And as a soldier, you must realize that there's no need for any excuse again. This is the time to start running. So I want to throw this at you. Make up your mind that the year 2025 is going to be different. And it starts from the place of knowledge. Sign up on School of Wealth. It's free. Just follow us on IG. There are many other platforms where you can. And you can begin to learn. Find out some informations where you are exposed to will give you a better decision that you're going to make. And the days of MMM will be gone. I'm telling
forever.
You,
Never again.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Pastor Femi, for that beautiful insight. It's been a nice time having this conversation. Dear soldier, it is time to build yourself financially, to build yourself in wealth creation, investing. So much has been